So, when I used to drink alcohol, I was extremely extroverted. I found it very, very easy to make friends and meet new people. I spent a lot of time working in a restaurant as a waiter. I was working in that industry when I was in my, early 20s. And every opportunity to go out and party or do whatever, I'd take it. I'd always say yes. And even when I stopped drinking, I was the same way. I did a personal training business. I was meeting people all day, every day. When I stopped drinking and moved to Chiang Mai, I was the same. That first year that I didn't drink, I lived in Chiang Mai, Bangkok, Bali, went to Italy on this road trip, went to England, then went back to Chiang Mai, went all over the world, met so many interesting people, and I was very outgoing. And that was even in the first year of not drinking. I was still going to bars, I was still meeting people, and having a great time. Now, as you guys know, that when I stopped drinking alcohol, my dream was to build some kind of online business, right? It was to work on the internet, be location independent. I didn't know what it would be, but this was the vision. And when I just stopped drinking alcohol, I did this coaching program, and it was the best program I've ever done in my life. By far, it was so transformational. And there were a few things that stood out. One thing was about taking full responsibility for my own life. And I know it sounds simplistic, but I didn't take responsibility for my life. I was blaming everybody else except myself. And the other thing that he said in the program was that the reason why you don't have your dream life is because you're not the person that deserves it. He said that the person that you are at the moment is incapable of building your dream life. And he said, what you need to do is become somebody completely different. You need to literally, the version of you that you are right now, you need to say goodbye to it and you need to become somebody completely new. So when I moved to Chiang Mai, and I was basically surrounded by a lot of people that were doing online businesses. People were doing coaching programs, they had websites, all sorts of stuff was going on. And it was like I'd entered this new world. Like everybody around me was doing the thing that I wanted to do, and I wasn't doing the thing. I was trying, and I was working for other people. I didn't have my own thing. But what was interesting is I started noticing that a lot of these individuals were introverts. They weren't going out partying all night. They weren't going out meeting people. A lot of these people, they just stayed home on their computer, worked, built things online, and that's what made them successful. Now, I'm being overly simplistic. Obviously, there's a million factors that have made them successful. But what I kept noticing is that most of these guys that were doing well were very introverted. Another thing I noticed is a lot of these guys were in relationships. They weren't single. They weren't going out chasing girls or, some of the successful women. They weren't going out chasing guys. A lot of these people were grounded in a relationship. And I know this sounds a little bit strange, but what I had to do is literally destroy this old version of me that was extroverted and outgoing and single, and I had to change it. I had to become more introverted. I got into a relationship. I changed so much about who I was and became this new version of Leon. This is all going to make sense, so bear with me. And I am going to show you exactly how to make friends and socialize without alcohol, but without the context, it's not going to make sense. So just stick with it. But I became somebody new. I was introverted. I spent way more time on the computer, spent way more time learning and developing new skills, and it worked. Like, if you go and ask one of my best friends, Cam, back when I was, in this working process, he used to invite me out, and I might have gone out once every 3 weeks. And I'm not joking. I did no socializing outside of that. I was just hardcore working my butt off because I wanted to get somewhere. And that's what I did. I just made loads of sacrifices and went all in and attacked. I would still say to this day, I'm on the introverted side of things. Now, as you guys know, after living in Thailand for 3.5, 4 years, something like that, I've moved over to Dubai, which is where I am right now, as you can see behind me. Some people say, is that a green screen? It's not a green screen. It's where I live. And when I got to Dubai, I knew a handful of people here. I had a couple of people that I've known online. There was a couple of people from university here. And when I moved here, it was all right. It was good. But it was a bit of a shock to the system because a lot of the relationships that I built in Thailand, my support network, I didn't have that anymore. I came with my girlfriend and we came here starting fresh. Now, the problem is that as I came to Dubai, I'm still this old version of me. Now, luckily, in Thailand, I'd already built relationships. I already did things with friends. All my friends were into training and fitness. So I didn't need to really put myself out there too much because I'd already built that core group of friends. But, I've come to Dubai and I'm going to get vulnerable. I'm going to be honest with you guys, but I've come to Dubai and I'm still this version of me that stays home a lot, that's isolated, that's working incredibly hard, that spends a lot of time on the computer. But when you don't have a support network around you, that's not a good place to be. And, the past few months, I'm not going to lie, it's not been easy. I thought moving to a new country would be a walk in the park because I've done it in the past and it was fine. but I was a very different version of myself. I was way more outgoing, way more extroverted, and the process has been isolating. Now, one thing is that I don't feel lonely. So, because I've got a girlfriend and we're together a lot. But here's where it gets interesting. Something caught my attention recently. So I was scrolling on YouTube and I don't know, some video popped up and it said something along the lines of dealing with male isolation. And I was like, And I thought about my situation. I'm like, am I isolated? I was like, do you know what? I probably am a bit isolated. So I clicked the video. The video might have had 1,000 views. It wasn't like a big video or anything like that. And sometimes I find the videos that don't get crazy amounts of traffic are actually way better. And the video was from a podcaster, and the podcast is called Order of Man, and the guy's name is called Ryan Mickler. And he made this video about dealing with male isolation. And oh my word, this video has been a game changer. It was so simple in its nature, but it was one of the best videos that I've watched in months because I actioned what it said and it's changed the game. And I'm going to break it down for you. I'll link the video down in the description as well if you want to check it out. But I'm going to break down the key parts here now. But Ryan, I don't know if you ever see this, but you are doing awesome work. I absolutely love what you're doing and you've helped me. So thank you. Now, just want to quickly say, I'm not 100% sure how relevant this is to ladies because I'm not a lady, but I think there's definitely some relevance here. But one thing I've realized over the past few months, because I've been on a few trips to Thailand recently, is that I am happiest when I'm around a bunch of guy friends and we're all doing something together, playing pool, playing poker, hanging out. That's when I just completely lose track of time and have the best times of my life. It's when I'm doing things with other guys. Now, the video that I watched from Ryan, basically, he started the video off by calling out this idea of the lone wolf and how, a lot of masculine figures that men look up to are lone wolves. Think about it, James Bond, Jason Statham, and these are all lone wolves. They get girls, they get money, and they don't need nobody's help. They're alone, they're solo, they just get it done. And he just said this idea is nonsense. It's complete nonsense, right? Men have always operated in tribes and in gangs, and he says that it's important. And this idea of being a lone wolf and isolating is no good. It doesn't really help. Sure, I guess there are people out there that are fine on their own, but anyway. But he goes on to say that if you want to make guy friends, if you want to network and you want to meet people, don't meet men to talk. Don't go for a coffee. Don't go for a dinner. It's not how men communicate. And it's so basic, right? Obviously we know this, but it was like a reminder. And he said, what you need is a common enemy. You need something that you work on together, and that is how you'll connect. He uses some examples in the video like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, going hunting, going to an art class. But men need things to do together. And then when you start doing together and you have this common enemy, that's when you start opening up. That's when you start connecting. And he said it. And I was like, how could I be so stupid? And I know this doesn't sound relevant to drinking, but it's all going to make sense in a second. So just keep going. But last week, that's what I did. I just made an effort to do things with other guys. I went to the driving range with a friend of mine and then went motocross riding at the weekend. So went hammering these bikes in the desert. It was so much fun. It's the second time I've done it. The first time was a disaster. This time was awesome. But it was about hanging out with other men and having the common enemy, not going to sit around and talk. And you're probably wondering, okay, Leon, what are you talking about? I've got a drinking problem, or I want help with not drinking. Why are you talking to me about this? Well, here's the thing. What do you think happens when you drink alcohol? When you drink alcohol and you hang around friends, whether they're female friends, male friends, whatever, you have a common enemy. You're going out, you're meeting that person, and you are going to drink. It's like we've got that thing to do together, and then as a result of doing that thing together, then we connect. And this hit me so hard. That's why when I drank alcohol, it was so easy for me to connect with people because we've got that thing that we're channeling our energy into. Sadly, it's a poison, it's an ethanol, it's something that's wrecking my health, wrecking my life, but it gave me a way to connect with people. But it wasn't, this is why this video has been such a game changer for me because sure, it was easy to meet people, we had the common enemy, but the consequence of that was severe. Now, I know a lot of people that watch this channel, you might be drinking at home on your own. This might not be 100% relevant to you, but I swear, there are thousands of better things that you can do than drink alcohol to connect and meet other people. You could play some golf, go ride some jet skis, go ride some motorbikes. I even connected really well with a friend when we went to church together, just me and this other dude. There are so many things that you can do, but what he says in the video, what Ryan says, is that you must initiate. Sure, some men will initiate with you. Some females, if you're a lady watching this, some ladies might initiate with you. But again, I'm not sure how relevant this is to ladies because I'm not a lady. But he basically says that you must initiate. Now, the thing is that when you drink alcohol, people are addicted to a drug, so they're way more likely to initiate with you. Let's go for a drink. Let's go to a bar. When you're dealing with people that have got a drug addiction, because listen, that's all it is at the end of the day. It's drug addiction. Of course, they're going to be motivated to get you out of the house and get you doing something, because who wants to drink on their own? It's a dumb thing that, most people that drink alcohol know that what they're doing is dumb. They know that they're damaging their health, but it doesn't need to be that way. Anyway, again, I'll put Ryan's video down in the description, and if you click the video on the screen now, you can learn about how Bradley Cooper also stopped drinking.